Everybody, welcome to the Palm Springs Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education. Today is December 13th, 2022. I will now call the meeting to order. Can we begin with a roll call, please?
Board Member Espericueta.
Here.
Board Member Cornett. Board Clerk Jarrell. Here. Board Member Girardi.
Here.
And soon to be Board Member Irvin.
Here.
We also have Student Board Member Peña and Student Board Member Flores.
Okay, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing when we're done? And I believe, Ariana, you're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing. We're going to have a moment of silence for Annabelle Zaguirre. Annabelle started with Palm Springs Unified School District as a classified employee on March 4th, 1997. In 2003, Annabelle became a teacher for the Early Childhood Education Program. She dedicated 22 years of service to Palm Springs Unified School District. Thank you. Please be seated. Next up, Matthew Pena is going to read our mission statement for us.
All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parents and community to ensure success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Next up is the administration of the oath of office. So I guess we should probably go down below. And Member Cornett, Member Irvin, and myself, we'll go right down here. Oh, here I got it. Or I did have a copy. I don't know what I did with it.
Do you have the oath down there? They're down below.
Oh, there.
Okay, thank you. Well, if I please have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to item 6, report of closed session. Clerk Jarrell, are there any closed session items to report this evening?
President Girardi, there are no closed sessions items to present.
Thank you very much. Item 7 is approval of the agenda. May I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Move for approval?
Okay, we have a motion. How about a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. The agenda is approved. Next up is our special recognition. The governing board wishes to recognize and commend the following employees for the month of December 2022. And I believe we have a video on this.
Hi, I'm Vicki Chavez, proud principal at James Workman Middle School, and I want to introduce Gail DeWitt. Gail is my choice for Classified Employee of the Month. Gail is an amazing assistant. During COVID, of course, she was busy working behind the scenes, taking care of all of the little details that some of us maybe didn't realize were going on. When we came back from COVID, when we came back to school, Gail was in charge of situating all the subs and working with contact tracing and just doing an amazing job all around while continuing to do all the budget and all the things that our assistants do. Gail has been a real asset to me as a new principal here at James Workman. I would say about Gail that she would be a great principal on her own because she does such a great job and could do my job with her eyes closed. So Gail's my choice.
Hi, my name is Karen Dimick, and I'm the principal here at Nellie Coffin Middle School. I nominated English teacher Leslie Snyder as our Certificated Employee of the Month. Leslie is a lifelong learner who dedicates her hard work and commitment to student learning through her utmost care for all of our students. You can find Miss Snyder in the hallway in very creative ways, greeting our students, making them feel safe and comfortable here at Nellie Coffin Middle School. She has worked tirelessly as a leader in so many facets on our campus. She is the premier grant writer, and she has been able to garner community support to establish a classroom library with books where the students can see themselves in. She is also part of our literacy movement and an integral part of our English department. She works closely with her colleagues in professional learning communities, and she is always willing to lend an extra hand to help our students and our staff.
Hi, I'm Vicki Chavez, principal at James Workman Middle School, and I want to introduce Ms. Nelva Segura as my Certificated Employee of the Month. Nelva is an amazing counselor. She goes above and beyond and really helps every individual student as often as possible. Nelva is responsible mainly for our foster youth, our McKinney-Vento students, and our newcomer English learners, although she does a lot of work with our students who are receiving extra supports. So she's always on top of things, goes above and beyond, and meets with her students and gets to know their families and their situations. And for all of the above, Nelva is my choice for Certificated Employee of the Month.
Hi, my name is Karen Dimmick, principal of Nellie Coffin Middle School, and I nominated Cynthia Soria as our classified employee of the month. Cynthia is the heart of our student services support in our office, and you can find Cynthia working closely with students in preventative ways. She has a listening ear and a big heart. Students come to her, they seek her out, and she helps to solve their problems in the most kind and caring and endearing ways. Cynthia is a leader, and with her quiet confidence, she is able to navigate all different aspects of MTSS here at our campus, providing our students with the academic, social, and emotional supports that is so much a part of who we are as a school.
Okay, you guys want to join me downstairs?
Okay, is it on? Yes. I'd like to honor Leslie Snyder. Would you come on up? I'm going to give you this. Okay. And I'm going to read some nice things about you. Thank you. Very much. Leslie Snyder is an outstanding teacher who inspires her colleagues and students through her commitment to social and emotional learning and academic excellence. She models what it truly means to support the whole child by fostering a foundation of trust and community in every classroom, which she calls Family Hour. She goes above and beyond in providing students with engaging and meaningful lessons. Leslie has been instrumental in advancing our school-wide literacy movement to ignite the joy of reading across campus and serves on a multitude of committees to advance our school's vision. Ms. Snyder, on behalf of the students and staff of Nellie Kaufman Middle School, members of the governing board and administration, it's a pleasure to present you with this plaque as recognition as Certificated Employee of the Month for December 2022. Is there anyone in the audience you would like to recognize?
Yes, thank you. I recognize my husband, who has supported me for 29 years in my endeavor. I am so fortunate to be at Nellie Kaufman. I have a principal that understands how important literacy is and allows us to do what we want to do in the English department. The whole staff at Nellie Kaufman works as a team, and I feel very, very blessed to be there. I also want to thank the foundation and Ellen, because I think I saw her here somewhere. They have supported us also with our literacy movement, and it's a blessing. Thank you.
Congratulations.
It is an honor to call Miss Cynthia Soria up. Congratulations. You're going to hold that. Thank you. Nellie Kaufman, too. Awesome. Cynthia Soria is an outstanding leader who positively influences the lives of our students. She is the core of the MTSS hub in the administration office at Nellie Kaufman Middle School and provides students with social emotional supports they need to thrive daily. Cynthia skillfully builds relationships with students and strives to embrace their strengths to ensure their success at NCMS. Cynthia, on behalf of the students and staff of Nellie N. Kaufman Middle School, members of the governing board, and administration, it is a pleasure and honor to present you with this plaque of recognition as Classified Employee of the Month for December 2022.
I just want to give a thank you to Dr. Dimick because I'm humbled when you told me about this. I really do feel when you love your job as much as you do, it's not even a job at that point because I love it every single day. And I thank you for letting me work alongside you.
Thank you. That was very nice. Ready, Cynthia?
Yeah, that's right. The next employee of the month is Gail DeWitt. Oh, sorry. Mrs. Gail DeWitt is an integral part at our school. Over the last 2.5 years, she has played an enormous role in moving through all of the issues that the pandemic brought, from keeping our stakeholders appraised of protocols and procedures to orchestrating subs on the fly. Gail has handled all these pressures with grace and professionalism. Mrs. DeWitt makes no hesitation to jump in and support her colleague, regardless of the work she has in her own office. She is respected by all for her professionalism and grace. Gail, and on behalf of the students and staff at the Jane Warman Middle School, members of the governing board and administration, it is a pleasure to present you with this plaque of recognition as Classified Employees of the Month for December 2022. Congratulations. Is anyone in the audience who you would like to recognize?
Thank you. I would like to recognize our administrative team, Vicky, Cully, and Manuel. They make my job much easier and fun to work with, so I do appreciate all the hard work and the help that they do for me. Thank you.
I will give you one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Want to do the next one? Sure.
Karen got it.
I'll do it.
Neva Segura couldn't be with us tonight, so we want to extend our congratulations to her and our appreciation for all she's done at James Workman Middle School. And I'll give the plaque to the principal. Thank you. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to make an adjustment to the agenda and move board member comments up to now. Is that okay? I just think There's people here waiting for that, and we got a lot of material between now and then. All right, so we're going to go to board member comments first, okay? So, does anybody have, Mr. Irvin, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I went to, attended a conference in San Diego, very informative for new board members. I had an opportunity to meet some great people from different locations, and it was just a great experience to be there. And also this week, I think Monday, I attended the APAC general meeting. It was very good. They were speaking on regards of CTE. Had a great speaker, and it's just a great experience.
I'm just curious, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I didn't actually know that you wanted to do it there.
Yeah, this is a good
I
place.
did write a whole paragraph. I don't know if you want me
Yeah,
to.
do it, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's. All right. Sure. I'm not lost for words, so. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so my name is Charlie Irvin. I come from Doris and Charlie Irvin, and my 5 sisters who beat and treated me like a toy. But I love you guys all. Also from Desert Highland Gateway Estates, where the underserved, misrepresented, and some would call the low of the low caste reside. But for me, the most important part of that community is love. Loving, powerful, strong, resilient, true community, one that I could call my own. I went to preschool at Child Care Center in Palm Springs. Next, I went to Kauai, where I encountered one of the most greatest life lessons with my first grade teacher, Miss Roberts. She would pull my ears and grab my lips for speaking out of terms, which was most of the time. Most of all, she gave me the ability to love reading and to take school serious. She was also my first and last African-American teacher in education. Moving forward, I went to Raymond Creed Middle School. And I'm just gonna say, well, next. But I wanna say hello to Ann Kalisak, who was my disciplinarian. And I wanna say hello, Ann, I know you're watching at home. Next, I wanna say Palm Springs High School, where I learned to get by with ease until the last year. I was headed to college, but I could not pass a state exam. I couldn't understand how I could master sports, academics, but I couldn't pass a basic test. Finally, I beat the state exam, but it was a day after graduation. Yep, that was my first real failure, and many more to come. But that is the why. People ask me, Charlie, why are you so fearless? Why do you seem so strong? That's the why. I learned to fall 100 times and get back up. Without lessons in adversity, there's no growth. This is the first time that I've talked about that out loud, and it actually feels good. Lastly, I want to say thank you to my home that has put up with me and shared me with you guys. That's Jennifer, Devin, and Dorian. I hope I make you guys proud. My entire family at Palm Springs Unified School District community, and I will be the best and try to do my best to just be me. Those that are in attendance and watching, thank you for supporting me and pushing me.
Mr. Sparaquita?
Sure. Yeah, in December 1st to December 3rd, I attended with all board members the same conference with Charlie with CSBA Annual Education Conference and Trade Show. It was a very beneficial conference attended by all board members, superintendent, and student board members. Thank you, Erica and Monica, for taking care of the student board members. all sessions were a great interest for the benefits of the students. I attended for, many sessions and also the first general session that was very interesting with the speaker, Brandon Fleming. He shared his life history, very interesting and very good history to motivate us and the students. And I attended also the Latino School Board Association luncheon. Thank you, Board Member Guerrero, for giving me your ticket. And because we was a little bit late to register the whole board members, she was the only one. She passed the ticket to me. And many other sessions, it's like one example is the alignment and inclusion and equity centered approach, designing the future at universal pre-kindergarten. They have a session focused in how to improve the achievement at the English learner, and we had a big amounts of English learner. Also, in December 6th, I attended via Zoom the Jen Walmart Middle School. They are in the process to be in the program School to Watch. That is a good news. Also, I attended the Junior Black Achievers monthly meeting, and that one was via Zoom. In another two Zoom meeting that I attended was the LPAC, Latino Parent Advisory Council, and the APAC, the African American Parent Advisory Council. All those meetings, I am very impressed because they encourage the parent, the student to participate more, to take the advantage of the whole program, of the whole health in the school district, with all focus in the student success. And I think also in December 7, I attended the Cathedral City High School Fall Sport Award. That one, they give the award to the football team, to the girls volleyball, boys and girls cross country, girls tennis, and girls golf, and was also good events in Cathedral City High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Member Cornett?
Yes, I'd like to say congratulations to Mr. Irvin on your win, and our school board really look forward to working with you, and also to Mr. Girardi on your election.
Thank you.
Also, I was able to attend the California School Boards Association Conference in San Diego, and not only did the 5 board members and the superintendent get to go and spend time together, and also attend a lot of different sessions that were very meaningful, not only to us, but also our student board members all got to attend. All 5 of them under the direction of Monica and Erica. Thank you very much for bringing them. It's a great time for school boards. There's over 1,000 in the state of California to really get together and to learn from each other, and also attend and learn from experts. I was also able to attend the Sunny Sands musical theater production of Frozen, which was great. And I went to Nellie Kaufman's with their school to watch meeting, so we're really hopeful that James Workman and Nellie Kaufman, I'm sure they will be, to be nominated for schools to watch through this organization. So thank you. Also want to make sure that I say something to all of our staff. Thank you for your hard work all through this first semester or first quarter, whichever you're on, and to say that I hope you have a very happy and safe holiday.
Madonna, sure.
Good evening, everyone. It's a joy and honor to be back here in Palm Springs Unified School District as a board member. And I say this because I was with 4,000 other board members from across the state of California, and I'm a delegate to our region. So I had a chance to do some voting, decision-making, And I had a chance to understand what was happening in districts across the state. And I want to be very honest and thankful to all of our citizens, our constituents, our voters, our students, our parents, our community members, because there are great changes happening, and we are so fortunate as a board to be here representing you and our children. And all of the learning that went on, all I kept saying to myself was, we are so lucky, we are so fortunate, and we are so rich here with talent and children and people that are that work as a team. And so for that reason, I thank you, the voters, the children, the parents, and the teachers and staff. So I did get a chance to do a lot in the last 2 weeks. I went to the Musical Theater University show on Sunday and was wowed by our talented students. I had a chance to go to Sunnylands on Saturday afternoon and be with the IB students from Cathedral City High School in their free family science STEAM day in conjunction with the Annenberg Estate. It was exciting to hear our student board members and their podcast before they went to San Diego, to hear them on the radio. I, for the first time, had a chance to attend the Junior Black Achievers meeting via Zoom. And wow, was that eventful, and learning about Kwanzaa. That was really a great experience. I did sneak over to Cathedral City High School for the winter band concert. And was that amazing to hear the woodwind, or the winds, the orchestra, the band, and the jazz band that night. And then last night, I did have a chance to attend the wake and funeral services for our employee, Annabelle Zaguirre, and see and meet some of the preschool teachers that I once taught at Brandman. So it's been an eventful 2 weeks since our last meeting, and good, and some not so good. But with that, I want to say this to Charlie Irvin and John Girardi, that as a board, we're a team, and a very famous politician from Georgia, John Robert Lewis, said, "Get in good trouble, necessary trouble." So we're excited to have our team back and starting a new season. And with that, I'm going to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, happy Merry Christmas, and a new year filled with good wishes and joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Madonna.
Thank you.
Okay, first, welcome Charlie Irvin to our board. You know, we all went to CSBA, and there's a lot of good programs, a lot of good information we learned there. But one thing we get to do is we get to know each other a little better as people, and I find that very valuable, and we all got to know each other a little better this past weekend, so I really appreciated getting to know you guys. Karen, congratulations on no opponent. I want to thank everybody who supported me in this past election. I tell you, it was a nail-biter for me, to be honest, but we squeaked through, and I want to congratulate my opponent. He did very well, and maybe someday in the future, he'll have a bright future in some kind of political arena. I think he's that talented. I got the pleasure to present to the Desert Hot Springs Rotary the state of the district, and quite a few educators were at that meeting. I tell you, I really felt I was being fact-checked pretty heavily at that meeting, so it was a fun experience. They were very receptive. I want to also congratulate James Workman and Nellie Kaufman Middle School, designated as California and National Schools to Watch, a very distinguished honor. And I want to congratulate Julie Cloud from James Workman Middle School. She was recognized as the Inland Empire 2022 Social Studies Educator of Excellence, offered by the Inland Empire Council on Social Studies. So congratulations, Julie. With that, I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday. Be safe, be healthy, and spend time with family and friends and all your loved ones. Thank you. Next up, oh no, it'll be later in the program. Next up is our student board member comments. So I think we're going to start with Matthew, right? Okay, come on up, Matthew. Here, we'll go back.
So first off, I would like to thank the board for this opportunity to speak here at tonight's meeting. We'll be taking a look at some of the exciting things that have been happening here at CCHS. First, we have the Great Shakeout. Shortly after my previous presentation, CCHS had the Great Shakeout. HEAL students who have been CERT certified during their junior year were able to put those skills to the test. Groups of these CERT certified students went out with one advisor to search and rescue people acting as victims of the disaster. Everything turned out great, and all CERT certified students had completed everything they needed to do in 32 minutes. School clubs. Interact Club finished their Fill a Backpack fundraiser and gathered together to turn in all the donations they received. They now started a used clothing drive where they set a large amount of bins around the school for students to donate used clothing that will eventually be sent and dropped off to Angel View. On October 31st, Kindness Club put their Spooky Basket fundraiser into action. The week prior, they had been selling these spooky baskets where students can choose up to 5 snacks to put inside the basket, and on the day of Halloween, they will be distributed anonymously to the person they wanted to be sent to. Sports. CCHS has moved into its winter sports season where they introduce sports such as girls water polo, boys and girls wrestling, girls and boys basketball, and girls and boys soccer. And all these sports have already had their first couple games with girls water polo and girls soccer going without losses. Our boys and girls wrestling team has also been very successful, and Cheer and Folklorico have been recently involved in both the Pride and Lights Parade. Choir has been very active lately with performances throughout the season. 2 Fridays ago, we celebrated our winter sports with a rally that included performances from a variety of student groups. Equity Ambassadors. Our CCHS Equity Ambassadors have recently gone to Nellie Kaufman Middle School where they taught a group of middle schoolers about peer counseling and what it's like to be a peer mediator. The purpose of this was to help prepare these middle schoolers so that they can be peer mediators or equity ambassadors if they so choose when they come to CCHS. Also, our CCHS Equity Ambassadors have started a new campaign this week called 10 Ways to Beat the Winter Blues. As said in the title, the campaign gives 10 steps in which the students can learn how to get out of the winter slump that comes around this time of year. ASB. On the 21st of November, our CCHS ASB students went to CATA. They were able to learn more about leadership skills, and they also learned about events and activities that could be brought back to the school. And the following photo is one taken the day of Halloween where everyone is in their costume. Spirit Week. Last week, CCHS had a winter-themed Spirit Week. Monday was Flannel Day. Tuesday was I'm a 10 but, where students wear a white shirt and write a funny flaw about themselves. For example, my shirt said, I'm a 10, but I'm lactose intolerant, you know? Wednesday was Winter Workshop. Thursday was Ugly Sweater Day, and Friday was PJ and Sidekick Day, the sidekick being a stuffed animal or plush toy. Seniors. These past weeks have been big for seniors. November the 30th was the deadline for all UC and Cal State apps. Last week, seniors had their senior portraits, and this Friday is the deadline for senior quotes to be submitted. Last Friday was also the deadline for cap and gown orders to be made through Jostens. Now onto our IB seniors. The IB seniors went on their CAS trip to Lisbon, Portugal, from November 14th through the 19th. During the trip, the students were engaged with local culture and learned about the impact we all have on our world. A few of the main activities they participated in were cleanup of a local beach. They worked with a local NGO in their effort to preserve the coastal environment after learning how essential our ocean preservation is for our planet. They also participated in a sustainable design project where they interviewed local community members and designed a public space to assist in alleviating the housing needs. With an introduction to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, students received the tools and framework to plan, organize, and engage in collaborative team CAS projects. And before I get on to this, I just wanted to mention that for the Lady of Guadalupe pilgrimage, CCHS students volunteered by assisting with handing out food and water along the route. And also, CCHS Ballet Folklorico performed along the route to inspire many to continue throughout the day. Now for the Adopt a Family. CCHS is having its annual Adopt a Family. The families being helped are ones of our local elementary schools. Homerooms that chose to participate had until today to collect the non-perishable items, and delivery took place earlier this morning. And that is all for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this insight as to what is going on at CCHS. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Matthew. So next up, we have Ariana Flores from Desert Hot Springs High School.
Well, hello, I'm Mariana Flores. I'm from Desert Hot Springs High School, and I'm here to give you my October, November, and December update. First up, here are some agenda items I will be going over tonight. First up, we do have our senior Golden Eagle football senior night. In addition, we have our cheer team senior night and our regiment senior night, where students were able to get recognized for all their hard work throughout their seasons. Next up, we do have our winter formal, the spirit before winter formal. Monday, we did have Sleepy Hollow, which is PJ Day. Students were able to wear their comfy and favorite PJs to school. On Tuesday, we did have Anything But the Bag of Santa Claus, where students were able to bring anything but a backpack. On Wednesday, we had Halloween versus Christmas, where students were able to either wear their Halloween gear or Christmas spirit, sorry. On Thursday, we did have the Three Little Henchmen, where students were able to match with two other of their friends. And then on Friday, we did have our first rally, the Blackout Before Christmas rally, which was on December 9th. And on the rally, we had performances from our cheer team, our dance team, our MCJRLTC, Color Guard, and our K-pop club. Next up, we do have our winter formal, the Nightmare Before Christmas, which was up at the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway on December 10th. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Students were able to go up the tram and enjoy an amazing night up under the snow. And outstanding students, Athlete of the Month, Visual and Performing Arts of the Student of the Month. First up, we have Athlete of the Month. These students did not only excel in being a student, but also being an athlete Student of the Month. Next up, we have our Visual and Performing Arts Student of the Month, where the teacher was able to choose a student who excelled in their visual performing arts. And in our cross-country, Golden Eagles did win their DVL first champion forever in the first time in history and did make it to CIF. Now our community involvement, which includes our blood drive and our canned food drive. First up, we have our blood drive, which was held on November 19th, which we got about 60 donations from students around our campus. Next up, we do have our camp food drive, where students were able to drop off any goods and food in front of the office. These donations were given out to the safe house in our local city. We have our holiday and Red Ribbon Day. Teachers were able to decorate their doors, and Mr. Tonoko was able to choose the winner. And that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariana. Okay, next item is 10 is a presentation. This is going to be a first interim report for 2022/2023, OE5. Dr. Brian Murray.
All right, good evening. Before I begin, I would like to thank and publicly recognize our Director of Fiscal Services, Peter Van Buskirk, for the work he and his team did to complete this first interim report. This is also Peter's last board meeting, as Director of Fiscal Services for our district. His positive, friendly demeanor and his can-do attitude are characteristics that served us very well in the district. I will certainly miss Peter's work ethic and people-first leadership style. Also here tonight is Pete's replacement, Tony Carrillo. As the board knows, Tony began his tenure in Palm Springs Unified back in 2013, serving as our accounting manager. After 3 years at College of the Desert as their Director of Fiscal Services, Tony is back to lead our Fiscal Services Department. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, and welcome, Tony. As you may know, this is the first of 2 interim reports that I share with the board each school year. The first interim report includes prior year carryovers and true actuals through October 31st of this year and forecasts the rest of this year and provides best estimates for the 23-24 and 24-25 school years. The next interim report, predictably referred to as the second interim report, will be presented to you on or around, but not later than March 15th. A little ahead of the game here. There we go. All right. As I've done in past interim presentations, I take this opportunity also to share with the board a very brief economic update that looks at numbers for both this year and the year ahead. Here on slide 3, you can see that the persistent inflation that many economists predicted would level off and get better during the second quarter of this year has not yet happened. This has led to higher interest rates and significantly less consumer spending. And since spending has slowed, this has also a direct impact on tax revenues. The projection for the 23-24 year assumes that current inflationary trajectory continues. With respect to Proposition 98, moving forward to 23-24, the COLA is currently at 8.73%. However, current projections are that it may drop. If the state cannot fund the COLA, we'll be in a situation again where we will have revenue deferrals. Here you can see that the LAO, or the Legislative Analyst's Office, has projected the COLA for 24-25 at 5.3%, just about a 3% drop from 23-24. You can also see from the out years listed here that the projected COLAs continually decline through 26-27. The modest decline over the 3-year period is certainly not bad news, but instead shows a stable, a slowing, or shows the economy stabilizing. And before I start with the rest of the first interim presentation, any questions that I can answer with respect to the brief economic outlook? Okay, moving on. So with respect to the first interim report, as a reminder, there are 3 possible certifications we're asking from you tonight: positive, qualified, or negative. Here on slide 8, as we manage the district's budget, I want to again remind the board that we're constantly evaluating all the cautions and considerations that you see listed here. And we in the Business Services Department are always conservative with our planning when it comes to the budget. The last consideration listed that you see, that being our declining enrollment, continues to be a consideration that is a concern, as we can see in more detail on the following slide. As you can see from our history on enrollment each year, except for the 2020-2021 school year, this year we are following pretty much the same pattern. Low enrollment the first couple weeks of school, enrollment maxing out for the year in October, November, and then a gradual decline to the end of the school year till about where we started in August. As you can see here, the crimson line at the bottom represents this year's enrollment. This year's enrollment followed a trend like you see the first 7 years of the enrollment analysis. We continue to join about 70% of the other districts in California that are in a declining enrollment trend. The LAO is projecting that TK-12 enrollment in California will drop another 170,000 students this school year due to a decline in birth rates. However, the LAO is also projecting that with the implementation of universal TK, the state will add approximately 230 students by 25-26. And for our district, we are projecting an increase of about 130 TK students next year, which is great news. And as in the past, in addition to lower birth rates, the LAO sees the enrollment drop statewide as more of a reflection of students being out of school rather than moving out of state or in private schools. This is a slide you have seen in the past, and we updated it again this year with you, with current data. We as public employer are responsible for contributing to the retirement system that will serve our employees once they retire. STRS stands for State Teacher Retirement System, and PERS stands for Public Employee Retirement System. You may see these referred to also as CalSTRS or CalPERS, or CalPERS. Our district's STRS and PERS obligations, as mentioned previously, are another consideration that costs money that we have to plan for. If you focus your attention on this school year, the two highest bars represent our district share of STRS and PERS costs. You can see from the graph's legend that employees also contribute to their own retirement, and with STRS, and the state also contributes toward the teacher's retirement system. Both STRS and PERS systems generate funds through investments. Roughly 55 cents of every dollar in PERS is generated through investments, and in STRS system, roughly 60 cents of every dollar is generated through investments on average. If you look at the brown and blue bars in 22-23 through 24-25, you can see that while the state and employee rates remain constant, employer rates will continue to increase over that term. Putting real numbers or percents into real numbers, we're looking at almost $45 million of our budget for our share of the pension liability pie from the general fund this school year. Slide 11 includes both the restricted and unrestricted general fund budget data that you saw in the SACS report. It's also referred to as the combined general fund. In the SACS report that I held up at the beginning of the presentation, it's referred to as Form 01. With respect to the budget, there are a few assumptions behind these figures. The very first thing that might catch your attention, other than the large number in green font in the first column, are the revenue and expenditure figures in 22-23 compared to 23-4 and 24-5. The reason these figures are so much larger is because here is where we show all carryover funds as well as additional funds that we have received from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act of 2020, and funds we received from the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplementation Appropriations Act, or CRSSA Act of 2021. These figures also include revenues and expenditures related to the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant, the LCAP, the A through G Completion Improvement Grant, and the Pre-Kindergarten Planning and Implementation Grant Plan, the ESSER Plan, and plans related to GEAR or the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund. For expenditures listed in 22-23, we assume that every dollar budgeted is spent. And on the third row in 22-23, you can see that revenues are expected to outpace expenditures by almost $79 million. Just want to again pause and remind the board that this is through October 31st. So as far as the contract negotiations with our labor groups that were worked on this fall, that's not included in this. That will be included in the second interim report that's presented to you in March. Transfers in are from Fund 40, about $5 million for routine restricted maintenance and $1.95 million for classroom furniture replacement, and from the Cielo Vista Charter School, about $900,000 to support their special education program. Transfers out total about $27 million. About $284,000 is for the Teamsters benefit pools. $2.5 million is for property and liability insurance, and a tiny amount, about $1,000, is to nutrition services to pay for the alternate income verification administration process. Our net increase to the combined general fund is almost $60 million. Our beginning fund balance on July 1st of this year was $72.1 million. Right now, we're projecting that our ending fund balance on June 30th, 2023 will be about $132.1 million. And again, not including any bargaining settlement contracts with our labor groups. With respect to the $72.1 million highlighted in green, that figure comes directly from our unaudited actuals report that we provided you in September, our final accounting of 21-22, and that's why that number is in a different colored font there. For the first year out, 23-24, you can see that we're projecting our ending fund balance to be about $146.4 million. And for the second year out, we're projecting our balance to be about $161.3 million. It's important again to keep in mind that the out years listed there are best guesses at our current time, assuming only projected COLA amounts that have been established and that no other funding is provided to school districts. So to summarize this slide, at this time, we're reporting that we can meet our obligations for the rest of the year and the 2 following years for our combined general fund. Here on slide 12, taking the $132.1 million ending fund balance from the previous slide, this slide shows what comprises that number. Revolving cash and stores account for $150,000. The $96.7 million in the legally restricted row is carryover from our restricted programs, including the federal title programs. Our legally restricted 3% reserve is based on a percentage of expected expenditures. We are projecting a decrease in spending in 23-4 and a very slight increase in 24-25. Our assigned amount, $6.7 million, is comprised of unrestricted lottery funds and fund balance. And then our textbook adoption budget for this year is currently at about $4.25 million. And then our LCAP carryover is $8.7 million. When we look solely at our unrestricted first interim budget and cut out the restricted general fund dollars here on slide 13, you can see that our revenues are outpacing expenditures by about $45.6 million. Transfers in and out on this slide are for the same reasons that I shared previously, minus the amount for special education services provided to CVC, as they are from restricted resources. Contributions, predominantly for special education-related services, are projected to be $31.6 million at year end, and despite these significant contributions, we are projecting a balanced budget in our unrestricted general fund through October 31st. Keep in mind, again, that these increases for the recently settled agreements with our PSTA and Teamsters colleagues are not reflected in these numbers, as those agreements were settled after October 31st. The financials related to these agreements will be reflected again, as I said, in March. As you can see on the next, or the net increase-decrease line, we're projecting a budget decrease of about $5.7 million at year end. And with respect to contributions, we'll review some of those data related on slide 15. But first, on the next slide, we'll continue to look at the components of the $35.3 million ending fund balance listed on the bottom for the column under 22-23. On slide 14 here, you can see that the components of our ending fund balance are very similar to what you saw previously, with only difference being the legally restricted row is zeroed out. And lastly, if we look at the projected ending fund balances for 23-24 and 24-25, you can see that we're projecting that our ending fund balances decrease each year, given current assumptions again and current revenue information. As I noted earlier here on slide 15, you can see that over a 7-year period, our total contributions have increased over $10 million. The vast majority of each one of these bars represents our contributions in support of our special education students and programs. In the past, the board was interested in seeing how the unrestricted general fund pie was divided that showed costs for people compared to costs for everything else that the general fund pays for. And here, if we take a closer look here at slide 16, you can see that for the first interim, our unrestricted general fund pie shows that we're currently spending 84.68% on our people and 15.32% on all other unrestricted general fund expenses. If we stay with the unrestricted general fund, taking a closer look at the expenditures, here you can see that salaries take up 58.2% of the pie, and benefits are a little over 1/4 of the pie. In dollars, that equals about $156 million in salaries and about $71 million in benefits. And again, that's specifically for the unrestricted general fund. Lastly, here on slide 18, you can see that 16.68%, or almost $44.8 million of the pie, is for STRS and PERS related costs. And you can see that employer rates are listed next to the pie graph for this year, for 23-24, and for 24-25. You can see that after the big jump in PERS rates this year, both PERS and STRS employer rates are either flat or slightly declining, and again, that's good news. However, if the economic recession does materialize, and as it most certainly, it would most certainly impact these rates moving forward. Right now, though, the 8.73% COLA currently identified by the LAO for next year will be very helpful for us as we move into the new calendar year and start our work in putting together the 23-24 budget. So with that, and to summarize, we're reporting to you this evening, as stated earlier in the presentation, that as of first interim, again through October 31st, we can meet our financial obligations for the current year and also the 2 following years. And therefore, I'm recommending to you that tonight you approve our first interim budget presented with a positive certification. So with that, any questions that I can answer from the board, or I can defer to Peter or Tony to help answer?
Anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Madonna.
Dr. Murray, you said 8.3 COLA for next year?
8.73. 8.3 was the latest coming out of the LAO as far as given how the current economic trend is going with respect to what the state could afford.
And currently this year was a COLA of?
COLA was 6.56 with an augmentation of 6.28.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? Okay. Thanks a lot, Dr. Murray.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it. We have another presentation. I think Dr. Kovitz is going to lead us off on this one.
Yes, so we have Ellen Goodman, our director of the foundation, who will be providing a presentation on our quarterly update.
Thank you.
Erica, thank you. So when you say just scroll, okay, very good. Thanks, I appreciate it. Hi everyone, I'm Ellen Goodman. I am the foundation director, and I'll join everyone in congratulating our campaign results. And so we'll welcome back board members who have I've been working with for a number of years, and we'll welcome board member Irvin. So congratulations. So this is our Q2 report, and the first thing I'll just share on the slide, and that is the foundation statement of purpose. We just include this for anyone who might not be familiar with it or anyone who might have some questions about it. So our total fundraising dollars, and this is our year to date, these are unaudited numbers, and this is as recent as December 8th. So that's when these numbers came in. The foundation has raised $614,000. 614,414. I'm playing that number. So that's how much we have raised since up to December 8th. Out of that, 115 donations, 59 new donors, 56 returning donors. Our total fundraising budget, our goal for the year, for the 22-23 school year, is $780,000, and that puts us at 79% to goal. And our Q2 highlights. So there are the numbers raised for year to date. Our focus areas for Q2, we continue to work diligently on our wellness centers. We have new sites and continuing the retrofitting and the fine-tuning of existing sites. This quarter, we awarded the classroom grants, and you heard about that earlier from our classroom that had the new library and the books from Ms. Snyder. And so in addition to the selection, it is the fulfillment of those grants as well, and that does take the whole quarter. MTU, our Musical Theater University, they had the production of Sunset Boulevard this quarter, and then Willie's Big Fat Holiday Bash. And board member Gorell was in attendance and commented on it. We had 80 individuals at Willie's. It was sold out. And again, this Sunday, the 18th, there's another production there. It is also sold out. We're working on our planned giving new launch. It's a new program for the foundation, and that began in Q2 as far as our planning, and it will continue through Q4. We'll keep you updated. I think you'll start to see more of this in Q3. And then I did spend a little bit of time with Renee and with Laura, and that is with risk management, and Laura Dyson, our nurse, around the Introduction to California Community School Partnership Program. They're applying for a grant, and the foundation is working with them on the sidelines to help with that grant production. We're very excited about it. I met with them actually yesterday. That was our second meeting, so that went quite well. And then we submitted an application for TEDx Youth License this quarter, and that is something that's new. Nellie Kaufman Middle School, we've been in conversations around their literacy program, and we do have some angel investors who are interested in this particular program. And a TEDx Youth License would allow us to take a group of students through the process of storytelling, where they would develop a topic. They would need to research the topic, read about the topic, write about the topic, and then they would record the topic via video. And then at the end of the school year, there would be an assembly that would include family members and some community members, and students would be able to tell their stories live. And we would be able to use the TEDx youth brand should we be awarded that license. So we're very excited. We'll know in April if we are awarded the license. Though we're not going to wait for TEDx Youth License to come through in April. In January, Nellie Kaufman will launch that program with these angel investors who live not too far from the school to see if they could beta test it, because we do believe that more schools will want to have something like this. So that was exciting for us for this quarter. As far as organizational development, November offsite, we had a work session a few Saturdays ago, and that was specifically around building committee structures. When I first came to the foundation, the nonprofit had standard committees that you see in most nonprofits. They had a governance board, a governance committee, an audit committee, a fundraising committee, a marketing committee. They had a program committee. They had 9 board members, and all 9 board members sat on all the committees. And I thought, well, why do we have committees? And so we assembled the committees. We built the organization as a working group, and now we are in a growth mode where we can actually start to incorporate some of those committees back. 3 of the committees that were priorities for the board, as identified in previous offsites, is Board Development Committee, Fundraising Committee, and a Marketing Committee. There will be task task force and working groups, like our planned giving. That is a task force, and that lives inside of the fundraising committee. We're still in our board recruitment mode, and we are hoping that by June we will have 3 additional board members to install July 1st with the new school year. We continue to have our monthly board meetings, and we have just entered, when I say we've just entered audit season, that's the responsibility now of the office. Our CPAs and our accounting firm already began the audit process, and now the office is required to get documentation to those auditors. And so we're in that season now. Again, the donations and the totals. Our average donation is $5,343, which is really quite large for most nonprofits. It's a very high number. Our fundraising Q2 experiences are donor development and prospecting. And I put a little note up here, $15,000, we have a prospect for classroom grants. And yesterday we received an email committing that $15,000. And so we are looking forward to putting that in our classroom grant bucket. Our end of the year mailing and our social media campaign kicked off on Giving Tuesday and will go through December 31st. We finalized our grant documentation for Desert Healthcare District, and we were awarded $110,000 for that. And that $110,000 is not included in the $614,000. We have not received that money, but it is committed. So we're looking forward to a very good 23 school year. We have a final report due to Anderson Children's Foundation. We were awarded $15,000 in July to add to the shoe campaign. So we have a mid-year report that is due. And then we continue to do MTU donor cultivation and solicitation since their season has kicked off. Again, the district alignment, R1, R2, R2.6. And then here is some of the work on the wellness centers. This is just an update from our last quarter. We've raised $460,000 in funds from these various organizations: Desert Regional Hospital, Fogelson Family Foundation, Edward Howard's Family Fund, City of Palm Springs, Manning McKinley Foundation, B. Keats, Western Wind Foundation, Desert Healthcare District, and Eisenhower Health. Schools that are completed are listed. And then we do have a pending grant. We have not heard back from Morgan Stanley. We have a $100,000 request into them. We haven't heard back. And then we were not awarded the CBS Spotlight proposal or Bighorn Cares. And what we did participate in was the drone camp that we had this fall. And I just thought I'd show some photos if you haven't seen the drone camp. It was very exciting. The foundation raised the money for the camp. The camp is broken into 2 different sections. Half of the group was divided and sent to classrooms where they did their, what would I call that? What did they do? Help me out, teachers. When you're in a classroom and you do your theory and you do your documentation work, and then at the end of that morning, you get to take an exam and you get your FAA license. And if you're under 16, you get a student license. So sorry, I couldn't quite think of that title that I wanted to use. And then the other half of the group was in the gymnasium where they actually did practical flying. And there were a number of stations set up. Search and rescue was there. There was a company from, I believe, Korea, and they do soccer. They do drone soccer, and they were set up. They did Hollywood drones, and the Keanu Reeves stunt studio was represented, and they had stuntmen there. And so they had drones with cameras flying over top, filming all the stunts. It was very exciting. And then they switched. The group that started in the gymnasium ended up going to the classroom. Classroom ended up in the gymnasium. And I will tell you, it was very interesting. I participated in it, and I loved the drone soccer. I really loved it. It's like playing video games. I just flew through the whole course. And I got it through all the little donuts that you're supposed to get it through. And interesting enough, where I thought I was really good, they told me I was flying my drone backwards. And I actually would have been disqualified. So there was a lot to learn. Very interesting. And that's our presentation. I guess I should point out that the Inland Empire Community Foundation did make a contribution through the Scheffler fund that they house and in their investment strategies for the drone camp. And then we got quite a bit of press around that for our drone camps, not just social media, but also in print. And so that is what we have for today. And if there's any questions or comments.
No, just congratulations to you and the foundation for all your hard work and really providing our kids with some really extra special things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Madonna?
I'm just impressed with, I've been here 6 years, and I'm so impressed in how the foundation has evolved. And they're doing so much more outside of the box thinking and activities for kids. I'm just wondering what else is coming besides TEDx. You probably have other things around the corner as well, I'm sure. And I appreciate all that you do to inspire not only kids, but staff and community and involvement from, like you said, people outside the valley.
Thank you. And Simone and Mike and I are working on what's next around the corner. And so we'll probably spend the next January and February really kind of mapping that out. I think there's some very interesting and some big things that can happen.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ellen, and thank your board members. I know it's truly a labor of love for them, and it really benefits our district. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll pass that on. Appreciate it.
All right. Next is public comments. I have 3 speaker cards. My first one here is Mark Talkington.
All right, thank you. I promise to try to make this brief. I'm Mark Talkington. I founded the Palm Springs Post a few years back. And one of the reasons I founded it was to tell some of the positive stories in our community that were happening and that weren't being told by some of the other media. I live in northern Palm Springs, so one of the first communities I ventured into was Desert Highland. And that's where I found Charlie Irvin. And ever since, whenever and wherever I see Charlie, I see not only a man full of joy and love for his community, but also a man surrounded by people doing good work. Nowhere is a better example of where I find Charlie and good work than right in this building. Charlie helped lead the African American Parent Advisory Council, and he worked tirelessly with those in the school district to pull off the trip of a lifetime for 24 students who got to tour the historically black colleges and universities. So it was while reading what was probably about the 300th text during the week they were there from Charlie that I knew that I was going to give him what I have right here. At the Post, we don't have like, you know, the best of thing or anything like that, but I do try to recognize somebody in the community every year who I think is deserving of recognition for making a big difference. In this past year, that person was Charlie Irvin, and I am proud to present you, if you come up here, with our 2022 Palm Springs Person of the Year Award.
Thank you very much, Mark. Our next speaker, can't pronounce his first name, Josiah Mitchell. Did I say that correctly? Josiah, thank you. Josiah Mitchell.
Thank you for your time. I'm here to talk about an incident that happened on November 18th, 2022 at Palm Springs High School. Friday, November 18th, 2022, a 28-year-old intruder unlawfully entered Palm Springs High School campus. After gaining entry, this intruder was not ID'd or questioned about his presence at the school. The adult male intruder was able to proceed on the campus with no security or SRO to maintain the safety and protection excuse me, of the students or my child with whom the incident occurred. The 28-year-old intruder proceeded to physically and verbally intimidate my son, as well as fellow students. There was no security nor SRO present. Fellow students had to go retrieve and inform security of the intruder's presence. Upon the SRO coming into contact with the intruder, he did not detain or apprehend him. The intruder, and did not apprehend him, and the intruder was allowed him to walk off the campus with no further questioning or searching of the male's person and backpack. At this point, my child was unsafe and unprotected here at Palm Springs High School. In light of all the mass devastations at high schools and colleges across the U.S., you would hope, as parents, there was proper procedures and protocols put in place to prevent such things happening. My son and our family were shaken and damaged by this situation. After 3 weeks, December the 8th, 2022, we had a meeting with Mr. Ventura and Dr. Killian, and in this meeting, I asked Mr. Ventura what are the protocols for students entering the campus. Mr. Ventura responded, quote, security, APs, and staff protocols are to build rapport with students as well as facial recognition from security, APs, and staff. And in that same meeting, Mr. Ventura also states, we do not recognize everyone every single day, so he knows his protocols are flawed and has yet to put anything in place. I asked Mr. Ventura and Dr. Killian what are the protocols and procedures for an intruder coming on the campus. They stated that I will have to talk to Mr. Smart to get that information, and none of my questions for protocols and procedures for an intruder on campus could be answered by Mr. Ventura or Dr. Killian. The following day, when I reached out to Mr. Smart to inquire about the policies and procedures for an intruder coming on campus, he told me it was not his job to do policies and procedures for an intruder on campus, and that I would have to talk to Mr. Ventura. I have sent emails in regards to the incident to Dr. Sweezy, Dr. Kovacs, Ms. Musel, Mr. Borrega, Mr. Capella, and no response from no one. I feel my son, my family, and fellow students are no concern to Palm Springs High School, nor...
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell. You'll just have to conclude your last sentence. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I feel my son and my family and fellow students are no concern to Palm Springs High School and Palm Springs Unified School District. We do not feel safe at the high school nor with the school district. I'm extremely disappointed. I'd like to thank APAC and Ms. Jackie because they helped me a lot along the way. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Next, Christina Alanis.
Hello. Okay. I wasn't really going to speak at first because this is the first time I've ever spoke up here, but I'm Christina Alanis. I teach 4th grade at Agua Caliente Elementary School. And I first want to just say congratulations to Charlie. I have been a big fan and supporter of you on social media, for the last few years, and just I've been often inspired by your dedication and advocacy for the community and for our district. So I was thrilled to hear of your election. So I just wanted to congratulate you, and I look forward to your leadership this year. And I think the rest of you are amazing too. It's not like, and honestly, I'm very thankful to work for Palm Springs Unified School District, like was mentioned earlier, what Madonna was saying. I do know what's happening in around the state with all of the other school boards, and I am very grateful and thankful to be working for Palm Springs Unified. I am the vice chair. For California Teachers Association, I am the vice chair for the American Indian Alaska Native Caucus. And so I am always focused on Native American education advocacy. And so yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with Assembly Member James Ramos. And we talked about the California Indian Education Act that was just signed by the governor in September. And so what I would like, what I'm hoping I can do in that AB 1703, I'm just going to I have time, just state that this bill would establish the California Indian Education Act and encourage school districts, county offices of education, and charter schools to form California Indian Education Task Forces with the California tribes local to their regions or tribes historically located in the region. I know a lot of this we've kind of already been working. You've been working with Agua Caliente, so this would just be something, hopefully, that we can continue to build that bridge. And it's creating task forces to create curriculum that would have to go and get approved through the Department of Education. And so although we have that curriculum with Agua Caliente, this would be something that would be developed through that task force that is created with the district, tribe, and other state officials that are involved with this pursuit. So hopefully I can help you get that going. That's been my, this has been my passion for the past couple years. I wanted to get us Indian education for the federal recognition, but now it's, now they have it for California, which is even better. And I just hope that we can meet again, hopefully this in the new year. I'm looking forward to ARC coming back, and hopefully we can meet in that in the new year as well. And I just want to thank you all for all of your amazing work, and hopefully that you can continue to connect with all of us in our community. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all the speaker cards I got. So we'll go ahead and close public comments. Would it be okay with you guys if we took a 5-minute break? Okay, we're going to recess for about 5 minutes, okay? Thank you all. Let's go ahead and reconvene. We'll go to item 12, which is a public hearing regarding the installation of shade structures at 8 elementary schools and installation of a new playground equipment at 6 elementary schools. So I'd like to now open the public hearing for community notification for the installation of shade structures at Agua Caliente Elementary, Bubbling Wells Elementary, Cahuilla Elementary, Cielo Vista Charter, Della Lindley Elementary, Julius Corsini Elementary, Catherine Finchie Elementary, and 2 Bunch Palms Elementary Schools. Have we received any written comments on this matter? No written comments have been received. That's
None
okay.
have been received.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone present who wishes to provide oral comments on this item? Okay. Seeing none, later in the agenda, the board will consider adopting resolutions number 2022/2023-17 for Agua Caliente Elementary, 2022/2023-18 for Bubbling Wells Elementary, 2022/2023-19 for Cielo Vista Charter, 2022/2023-20 for Cahuilla Elementary School, 2022/2023-21 for Della Lindley Elementary, 2022/2023-22 for Julius Corsini Elementary, 2022/2023-23 for Catherine Finchie Elementary, and 2022/2023-24 for 2 Bunch Palms Elementary School, finding the installation of shade structures at these sites exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and approving the filing and recordation of a notice of exemption. Seeing no oral comments, I will now declare the public hearing closed. Next item is our superintendent's report, and we'll turn that over to Dr. Signoret.
Thank you, President Girardi. First of all, I want to wish our superintendent, Dr. Sweezy, I know he is watching, but want to wish him a very speedy recovery. So we're aware he's under the weather, feeling ill. Really wish to have been here to very special evening with our new board member and a re-elected board member. So he very sorry not to be here, but provides everybody his best wishes, and hope to have Dr. Sweezy back with us very soon. I do want to thank Monica and Erica for providing me great sub-plans for tonight. So thank you very much. I feel very well prepared. Also relative to Mr. Mitchell's concerns this evening, appreciate him coming forward. We will definitely be taking those concerns very seriously. Our superintendent, Dr. Sweezy, is quite aware of the situation, and we'll have our cabinet meeting. We'll strategize on how we can provide the family and the schools some support. And then lastly, just want to take this opportunity to wish also, as our board already has, wish all our Palm Springs Unified community, all our students, families, our Board of Education, all of our personnel, want to wish you all the best during this very well-deserved upcoming winter break. You've all worked extremely hard and deserve the time off, so please take the time to recharge, enjoy time with the family, friends, and loved ones. So thank you, Mr. Girardi.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Signoret. Next item is our annual board organizational meeting. Item 15A is election of the president of the governing board. We will now open nominations for board president. Does anybody have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate John Girardi for our board president.
Thank you. Anybody want to second that, or do I have to do it myself?
I will second that.
Thank you, Madonna. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. The motion passes. I appreciate your guys' confidence. Thank you very much. Next up is election of the clerk of the governing board. Do we have any nominations for clerk?
I would like to nominate our board member Sergio Espericueta as board clerk for the 2022-23 school year.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Did you vote for yourself, Sergio?
Aye.
Okay, next up is item 15C, election of representative to the annual county committee on school district organizations. Do we have any nomination for the committee representative? Does anybody want to do it? Karen, weren't you the last one? I think it's one meeting or something, yeah. I'll do it. You do it? All right, I'll nominate Madonna Jarrell. Can we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you. Next up is the filling of some committee assignments. The Legislative Liaison Committee is Karen at the current time. Is anybody, Karen, you want to continue? Does anybody else would like to do that?
Sure, I'll continue if nobody else wants to do it,
Is everybody okay with that?
because they meet on Zoom.
Okay. So, maybe we can just do all this at once.
And John?
Yes.
You know, he need to see the list. It's in the
What
item D. D.
15D.
15D. Who's D? Is not.
You know, there's a list in,
Hold on one second.
Because this is the list.
Yeah.
This is the list. Legislative. Okay.
Yeah, can you see? Because I know I got 15A. Oh. That I help.
Okay, right there. Okay.
Yeah, we good?
The first one is the legislative network license.
They forgot their
Be
training
connected with elected officials. And that one is one board member.
Right, yeah. Press this button. It's this one, Madonna. You gotta switch between inputs. You know? Okay, can we proceed?
sorry about that, technical issues here.
You ready? Okay. Next up is our bond committee. Last year, the bond committee was Tim Wood and myself. Could I recommend Charlie Irvin and myself on the bond committee?
Bond committee.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Next is the naming committee. We need 2 board members. You meet on an as-needed basis. We don't have a lot of naming opportunities, but would 2 people like to serve on that? Sergio, how about you and,
Yeah.
and Madonna?
Can be there.
Next up is the Head Start Parent Policy Committee. Again, this meet as needed, although I thought they always met once a month, but Sergio, I think you were,
Yeah, I'm interested in be there. Yeah.
would you like to stay on that?
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that? Okay, Sergio? Next is sponsored naming a facilities committee. Again, 2 board members on an as-needed basis. This is when somebody donates money and we want to name the building. So Madonna, you're interested? Karen?
We don't go out and find the money, do we?
Yeah, that's part of the responsibilities. Next is the Foundation for Palm Springs Unified School District Committee. It's a board committee. We have 2 members on that committee. This year was Karen and I. You want to stay on it, Karen?
You like it, John?
I do, yeah. Okay.
Is that okay with Charlie and?
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next is the Audit Committee. Again, last year it was Tim and myself. Charlie, would you be interested? Audit Committee? It
That's
doesn't
the
take a lot
financial
of
stuff,
time.
right?
The auditor just comes and talks to us,
That's
talks
the
about
one-
all the findings that these guys have.
One
Okay.
time a year, John? That one is one meeting a year? Or?
Yeah, pretty much, one meeting a year. You want to be on it?
I'm fine, I'll be on it.
Charlie?
Okay, Charlie.
I
You want to
love
be on it with
finance.
Charlie? Okay. I guess I'll be on it with Charlie. And then finally, we have Equity Committee, which is going to be brand new this year. So I would imagine, Ms. Jarrell, would you like to serve on that?
I would like to recommend Charlie and Sergio.
Okay.
If that's okay for
Yeah.
them.
You guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine, my hand was up for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we have Sergio and Charlie. Good. All right, so let me make a motion here. I guess do we have to vote on this? Okay, I gotta look at our bylaws. I'll make a motion to nominate Karen for the Legislative Network Liaison, Charlie and John for the Bond Committee, Sergio and Madonna for the Naming Committee. The Head Start Policy Committee would be Sergio. Sponsored naming of facilities be Madonna and Karen. Foundation for the PSUSD Committee, Karen and John. Audit Committee, John and Charlie. And the Equity Committee, Sergio and Charlie. Can I get a second for that?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That motion passes. Thank you all very much. 15E is approval of calendar of dates for a regular meeting. Can I get a motion to approve 15E?
I move.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. Item 15F is approval of certification of authorized signatures. Can we get a motion for that, please?
Move for approval.
And a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Does anybody have any questions on that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Brings us to item 16, board action items. 16A is approval of final PAR report for the 2021-2022 year, OE 4.4. And I think Dr. Senior A is going to lead this off.
Thank you, Mr. Chardy. I'd like to introduce Mr. Brian Hendra up here to do this presentation. Mr. Hendra is our Director of Human Resources, and he oversees our induction program, which helps our new teachers earn their clear credentials, as well as he also oversees our peer assistance and review program, better known as PAR, that assists our experienced teachers. So Mr. Hendra is going to provide a brief report on our induction and PAR program for the past year. So Mr. Hendra.
Dr. Senior, earlier you said that I could take about an hour and it wasn't supposed to be brief. So that's
Unless we
changed.
have other breaks in between, no, Mr. Hendra, we're not going to do that. So.
I want to congratulate the board members for winning their elections, and especially Charlie, who I've worked with over at Palm Springs High School. So welcome to our board. I'm here to talk about the new teacher induction and the peer assistant review and PAR program. I'm very proud to be part of this program here in the district. We're slightly unique to the rest of the county, where we have reflective coaches that are pulled out of the classroom to make sure that we're offering as much support as we possibly can for our teachers that are in the classroom, especially coming back with some social and emotional needs that aren't always there everywhere else. So our reflective coaches are experienced and highly qualified. They go through a rigorous interview process that consists of the panel of PSTA and also management members. So we're making sure we get the best of the best to be able to help our teachers and make sure that they're getting the right coaching and pedagogy training. They must have a minimum of 3 years of recent teaching experience. And we try to match the reflective coaches with their level of experience. So elementary school teachers with elementary school, high school teachers with high school teachers, and special education teachers with special education teachers. It's not a perfect formula because of the way the needs of the district go and depending on what our personnel are. So these are our reflective coaches. I have their pictures up there. I have Marty, Maribel, Valerie, Jamie, Norma, and Aaron. 3 of the members are new. We have a very high hiring rate right now, about 150, 170 teachers that you'll see. So the induction process is throughout the state. It's the process that someone would, after they get their preliminary credential, would have to earn to make sure that we clear that. And it's a 2-year process that they go through with the County of Riverside. They have to do different things, such as complete 4 inquiries cycle based off the California standards for CSDPs. They also have to have 3 observations and 1 digital reflection a year. It's very time consuming, but our candidates find it worthwhile because they are getting that training to make sure that they're more successful in serving our students. The teachers meet with their coach a minimum of 1 hour per week. Sometimes that's via phone or Zoom, but most of the time our coaches are traveling throughout our valley, throughout our district to make sure that they're meeting in person, because we do believe relationships are important in this district and making sure that they have someone that's supporting them. So here give us a couple of little numbers. As you can see, we have certificated teachers, 150 last year, and this year they're serving around 158. But they're supporting, compared to last year, 129 to 154. And remember, it's not just those induction teachers, it's also our PARs, our interns, our STEPs, our emergency credentials, and we'll talk a little bit more about what they are. But we're trying to support as many of the new teachers that are coming to our district to make sure that we onboard them correctly and do the things the way we want them to be done. So again, I talked about teacher induction a little bit earlier. For our year count right now, we have 118 teachers currently that we're serving. 58 are in our first year cohort, and then 60 in our 2-year cohort. 47 are single subject, 53 are multi-subject, and we have 18 teachers that are in our special education program that we're servicing. One of the programs that I'm also proud about in our district is partnering with our PSTA as our STEP program, making sure that even an experienced teacher that might need a little bit more support in the classroom, that might be meeting a partially met, can ask for support. It's optional. They can always apply. We go through with the PST in a partnership, and we offer the same support that we do for our candidates going through an induction and emergencies. So it's another thing that, because our teachers are pulled out of the classroom, that they're able to support and give the pedagogy needs of our district. So additional coaching support, which I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, intern, STEP, and emergency credentials. Though it's not mandated by the state, it is something that our district does to make sure that our teachers are successful. Currently, we have 12 regular ed interns and 12 special education interns. That's an addition over our induction category. Currently, we have 3 teachers in STEP that have volunteered for that program and 1 counselor. And we have 7 teachers that are in emergency credentials, and we're ensuring that they get the support also. We also have a program called Peer Assistance and Review. This is when a teacher in our district gets a less than satisfactory evaluation, and they go into a program called PAR, or again, Peer Assistance Review, where we have a counsel, and we also give them an experienced teacher to support them, and they meet monthly to bi-monthly to make sure that they were reaching their goals. The goal of PAR is to support the permanent teacher in need of development in their subject matter knowledge or teaching strategies, or both, and exit them successfully from the program within 2 years. So again, the purpose of the program is really to make a teacher that might be struggling in the classroom successful and make sure that they're serving our students as best as possible. On that committee, again, is joint with PSTA. There are 3 members from the district, myself, Kai Lyles, who's an assistant principal for Desert Hot Springs High, and Brad Sauer, who's also the director of human resources, who I partner with. PSDA has 4 representatives, Karen Johnson, who's the president, Bonnie Keene, Jessica Pack, and Shannon Aguilar. It's a collaborative team, and we talk about what's best for our teachers and how we can best support them. So currently in PAR, we have 1 teacher and 1 counselor. So we have 2 people participating in year 1 of the PAR process. Last year, we had 1 teacher in PAR, and they were successfully exited. So one of the things that we do around this time of year is make sure that we compare ourselves to the county, make sure that we're doing what we say we're doing, and how well matched we are with our coaches. What you'll see on most of these slides is that we are outperforming the rest of the county in these aspects. It is an anonymous survey given to the people that are in the program to make sure that we're held accountable to make sure that we're doing what we said. Again, I'm very proud of the 88% that they said they were well matched with their candidate. You can see how regularly did we communicate, 93% of the time. Again, making sure that we're successfully building those relationships with our teachers, and making sure that they feel successful and supported in our district. Again, some of the things they do are a cycle of inquiry that they get feedback on and they're able to grow. 54% find it very substantial. And this is a lot of time out of our new teachers because they're coming on Mondays twice or once a month. Also some opportunities that they're working inside their prep periods. So here you can see again, most of the categories we are outdoing the county in what we say we're doing in those points. And then these are a couple of the candidate responses. And one of the things that I look for in here is those verbs that we see in here. And they appreciate the discussions, the relationship building. My coach did an amazing job. It really is that people person that we're in the business of here in relationships, making sure that we are making sure that they feel comfortable in our district and supporting them as they begin their journey in teaching. Again, do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Brian. Anybody have any questions or comments? Go ahead, Madonna.
As I worked with delegates across the state, they talked about housing and developing housing for new teachers. I'm not sure where our teachers live. We used to be an affordable community near to our district, and many of our teachers then chose maybe perhaps to move out of the valley and commute. Are we still looking at an option for helping with housing, helping with maybe van pools, some ideas for helping teachers who are commuting or can afford to live in this area?
We do have quite a few teachers that are living in Beaumont and Redlands, but that's definitely something we can look into in the future.
Thank you.
I do. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
Very well
Thank
done.
you for your time.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to approve item 16A, the final PAR report for 2021/2022 OE 4.4?
Move for approval?
And how about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. 16B, approval of positive certification of solvency, first interim for fiscal year 2022/2023. Can we get a motion to approve this, please?
Move for approval?
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 16C, approval of addendum to assignment monitoring and review, SB 435, 2022/2023 school year, OE 4.4. May we get a motion to approve that item?
I move.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And you remember down there, if you guys have any comments or questions, speak up, okay? Thanks.
Thank you.
16D, approval of P0080216, HVAC analysis services with KFI engineers, OE 6.4. May I get a motion to approve that?
Move for approval?
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 16E, approval of ratification of successor agreement between Palm Springs Unified School District and the Palm Springs Teachers Association, OE 4.9. Can we get a motion to approve?
Move for approval? Does anybody want to say anything?
I was going to say, can we get a second first?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I was wondering if Dr. Sigmund wanted to say anything.
Thank you, Member Cornett. Appreciate that. But yes, no, really appreciate all our colleagues, PSTA. I mean, I'll just jump ahead and also say the same for Teamsters. Extremely grateful with the collaboration with our labor groups and the value that we have in all our employees that really are the heartbeat and backbone of Palm Springs Unified.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Signoret. Anybody else have a comment by any chance? All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Congratulations. Approval of ratification of successor agreement between Palm Springs Unified School District and California Teamsters Local 911, Teams 1. This is OE 4.9. May we get a motion to approve? How about a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations. 16G, approval of ratification of successor agreement between Palm Springs Unified School District and California Teamsters Local 911, Teams 2, OE 4.9. May we get a motion to approve that? And how about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations one more time. 16H, approval of salary increase, certificated administrators, classified managers, and management/confidential employees, OE4. May I get a motion to approve item 16H?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Congratulations. Next, we'll vote on items 16I to 16L in one motion. Prior to taking final action on employment agreement, the Brown Act requires the governing board to orally report a summary of a recommendation for the salaries, salary schedules, or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for local agency executives. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of human resources, assistant superintendent of business services, and the assistant superintendent of educational services are all local agency executives, and a proposed contract amendment for each of them is before us this evening. This recommendation is in line with the December 13th, 2022 approval of a 9.7% increase to the total compensation for the district's confidential and management employees. Okay, so first, the fourth addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services contract increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $247,027, effective July 1st, 2022. It also increases the district's contribution to the health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $16,780. There are no other changes to the Assistant Superintendent's contract. The fourth addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources contract increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $247,027, effective July 1st, 2022. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $16,780. There are no other changes to the Assistant Superintendent's contract. The second addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services contract increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $219,603, effective July 1st, 2022. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $16,780. There are no other changes to the Assistant Superintendent's contract. The second addendum to the Superintendent's contract increases the Superintendent's base salary to $298,055, effective July 1st, 2022. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $16,780. There are no other changes to the Superintendent's contract. So may I get a motion to approve items 16I through 16L?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. Can we get a second, please?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
That information that you were reading off, is that here on the attachment?
It should be under items 16I through 16L. I don't know if you get the narrative that I've got.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But it's all the pertinent information, the salary increases, the increase in health and welfare benefits, that should all be in the agenda.
And Board Member Irvin, we can provide that for you. We can email you the contracts as well.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so all in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Okay, motion passes. 16M, adoption of resolution number 2022/2023-25, approval of increase to board member compensation pursuant to Board Law 9250. May we get a motion to approve that item?
Move for approval.
We have a motion to approve. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Items 16N through 16U, we will take as one item. Item 16N through 16U, adoption of resolution number 2022/2023-17 for Agua Caliente Elementary School, 2022/2023-18 for Bubbling Wells Elementary School, 2022/2023-19 for Cielo Vista Charter, 2022/2023-20 for Cahuilla Elementary School, 2022/2023-21 for Della Lindley Elementary School, 2022/2023-22 for Julius Corsini Elementary School, 2022/2023-23 for Catherine Finchie Elementary School, and 2022/2023-24 for Two Bunch Palms Elementary School, finding the installation of shade structures at these sites exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and approving the finding and recordation of a notice of exemption. May we get a motion to approve those?
I move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion. How about a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Again, items 16V through 16Y are approval of readmission and expulsion cases 2021/2022-57, 2021/2022-60, 2021/2022-62, and 2021/2022-66 to Palm Springs Unified School District. Can I get a motion to approve those items for readmission? We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. 16Z, approval of expulsion case 2022/2023-028, recommendation and findings of fact and conclusion of law, OE 11, with the specification that this will be a split expulsion and placement at an alternative school site. So maybe we get a motion to approve that, please?
I move.
Okay, we have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 17 is the superintendent's consent item. Unless somebody would like an item pulled, we will vote on 17A through 17I in one motion. So not hearing anybody wanting to pull anything, can we get approval to approve that? Okay, thank you, Madonna. We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Item 18 is board consent items. 18A, can we get approval for meeting minutes of November 22nd, 2022? And how about a second?
Second.
Would I abstain from this since I was?
You can.
All right. I'll abstain from this.
Absolutely, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Item 19 has to do with information items. 19A is first reading of revisions to Administrative Regulation 3513.1, cellular phone reimbursement, OE 8.1. And 19B is submission of early Head Start and Head Start reports per requirements for the Head Start Act of October 2022, OE 10.1, The board has received and reviewed this information. Item 20 are suggestions for future agendas. Anybody have any suggestions? Madonna?
I do. In speaking with delegates and people across the state, I wondered about our scores, our academic achievement scores in reading and math. And when I searched for Palm Springs Unified, math proficiency scores were 28% on the state CASP, and they were 12% less than the California average of 40%. And that's the area I'm interested in seeing what we're doing to help support our teachers and our students. The biggest gap was math proficiency. We do not, if I'm correct, have intervention teachers in the elementary schools for math. And this is the foundation of our students in learning math. As compared to reading proficiency scores of 42% in Palm Springs Unified versus the state average of 51%, there's a 9% gap. And we have intervention teachers who are working really hard to close that gap. And so I asked the board to think about, and I'm not saying to say yes, but to think about as we progress and see our scores in math, to think about intervention, lessons, development, teachers, staffing, to help close that gap in math. And I see it as a teacher every day working with students where I teach, that math is a struggle. And if we start foundational skills and helping, especially up by third grade, helping students with math, because math, reading is math and math has reading. Today I was working with a student and her struggle was reading the math problems on her test. So I would just want to ask the board to think about perhaps future math allotments or development or ideas on how we can help close the gap in math.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, my thought was we got our board retreat in early February. Maybe we could talk to the superintendent and put together a little program to let us know what we're doing exactly in this area.
Definitely, we're already planning for that.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this a place for members to make comments?
Yes.
Almost. Do you have a suggestion for a meeting, for agenda?
Yes, I do. I know that we visit the SRO officers earlier in the year. I wanted to see if there was any way possible that we can revisit that to see if we've received any reports or any acknowledgments of the things that have went on. I know that we asked the director to come back and speak to us about and let us know some of the statistics and how things are going. I would like to see the board kind of take that in consideration and on a yearly basis, if not, just come back annually, just come back and let us know how that's going, how many contacts and different things like that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charlie. Great suggestion.
No, I do agree with that, and I looked at our work plan, and I didn't see, I thought we had talked about at our last retreat, or before that we would have Mr. Smart come and talk about the security and especially our SRO officers. And maybe I missed it, but I kept checking on the work plan and I didn't see it. So hopefully we can get that on our work plan.
Yeah, I don't think we do off the top of my head, but I'll look and I'll make sure something is scheduled.
Okay.
So if we could squeeze it in.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other suggestions? Any more work you want to pile on these guys? All right. Setting of the next board meeting. The next regular board meeting of the Board of Education will be held on January 24th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Item 22 is to debrief. So does anybody have any comments on the evening's meeting or anything?
I just want to thank Ariana and Matthew for their presentations and see if they have any closing ideas, comments, suggestions, or thoughts. Anything? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Nothing at this time? Then I guess the second thing is we were giving a board member binder And a board member from Northern California mentioned that he had a quick access for information for the district. And I want to thank for the staff for helping to develop this binder. And at a glance, we can see most every program, all of the personnel, and we can use this in understanding who we were working with and who we represent across the district. So a big thank you to the people, Erica and Monica and everyone who worked on this, because this was a great task, and I think I honor your help in making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I also have one more comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to tell everybody, hear this on this board, thank you. Look forward to working with you guys, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to the public for voting me in.
Thank you, Charlie. Anybody else? Oh, Matthew?
Yeah, so I feel that when we went to the CSBA in San Diego, it was just a really good experience. I just wanted to comment on that and thank the board and Erica and Monica for coming and taking care of us, because it was truly an eye-opening experience to meet people, networking with others from all around California and learning about their district and what happens on their board and with their presentations and how long theirs are. It's just really interesting to hear, oh, mine's only like 5 minutes. Oh, mine's like 3 hours. And it's like, oh, wow, But it was truly a really fun experience going there, getting to meet a lot of people and seeing these seminars and panels. And so I just wanted to thank all of the board and Dr. Sweezy and Monica and Erica for, setting that up for us.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, may I add? Honestly, I completely agree with Matthew. I feel like going to CSBA during in San Diego, I feel like it was a really big eye-opener, as I did get to learn about not only me as a student board, but also the board in general. And I feel like how Matthew was saying, all these panels and all these speakers really did help me learn more about the school districts and how it works. So thank you.
Sure. Well, thank you. I got to say, we didn't get to spend much time with you, but I think we all enjoyed the little bit of time that we did get to spend with you and to get to know you guys a little better. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, item 23. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting, please? You guys can make the motion if you want.
I think I said enough.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Happy holidays, everybody.